You know, this is pretty sad that when you can talk for like an hour about your problems to a stupid ass screen. But I guess if it helps, you know, what the fuck, right? So we're standing in the hallway and Steve's like, you know, I just need a couple of days and you took it the wrong way and I don't want to break up with you. And I do love you, and so I just said, okay. Excuse me. I said, okay, I'll just get what I need and take it home. And of course I'm still upset and I'm crying, like we women do. A man tells you he needs a couple of days, and you know, it just, you know, I mean, I was already at the breaking point, you know, with all this stuff going on in one day. I mean, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be at their breaking point? I mean, come on, you know. Plus, I'm emotionally upset anyway. I'm depressed anyway. I mean, how much more depressed can a person be? So, anyway, I gather up all my shit, put it in the truck, and I'm sure he could tell I was pretty pissed, because when I get pissed off, I start to distance myself, and I start to, I don't want to let him know that how really upset I am, so I start to distance myself, and I start to, like, hold stuff in and not want to cry, and, like, not want anybody to see me cry. So, I start getting my shit, slinging, well, I wasn't slinging it around, but I was, you know, getting my shit and kind of hurrying up and everything, because I was like, okay, if I don't get out of here soon, I'm going to have a mental breakdown, and I'm going to start crying hysterically, and I don't want him to see that. And I was just going to, like, go down the road, and, like, I didn't know where I was going to go. I thought about driving to, you know, just somewhere and getting a motel room for the night, because I you know, an hour's drive when you're, like, fucked up, mentally fucked, is not really what you need to do. And I know I would have, like, spent money that I really shouldn't spend on a room, but I thought, fuck, I'll just get, like, some cheap-ass motel, and I'll save myself from maybe getting into a car accident. I had thought that, but anyway, I don't know what I would have done. So, because the truck was, like, loaded with shit, like, up to the brim, like, you couldn't stuff anything else in it. And I don't like leaving my vehicle like that either, so I probably would have just driven home like a mad person. And anyway, so we stuffed the truck full. And then I get in the truck, and I was like, I'm starting the truck up, because I said it's cold out here, and I'm cold. I didn't have a jacket on. And he's, like, standing back behind the truck, like, he's not gonna, he's, like, standing off, like, okay, what you gonna do? And I said, are you gonna come and give me a kiss? Are you gonna come and give me a hug? And he's like, yeah. And he's kind of like, well, I don't understand what she's doing. Well, he's asked me to leave, you know, so I'm like, I've got my shit in the truck, you know, I'm getting in, I'm starting it up, I'm not going to sit there and fucking freeze. And so he stood back at the truck, and he was, like, waiting for a minute, and I'm like, well, you know, are you going to kiss me? He was like, yeah. And I said, I'm just turning on the truck so I can warm up. And he said, oh, okay. And so we started talking, and I was crying, and I started crying real hard, and he's like, why don't you just stay? Why don't I just stay? I mean, he doesn't say this right at that moment. But, I mean, I had started crying pretty much hysterically, because I didn't get to pull out of the driveway as soon as I started up my truck and got, you know, it warmed up and everything. And, you know, we started talking, and the truck was getting warmer and warmer, and I was starting to feel sort of warm. And then I could feel my stomach, and you know how you get that, like, really bad, like, knot in your throat, and you could feel, like, the pressure building up in your body, like, when you can't release when you need to cry, and you can't release it, and you're trying to hold it in so nobody can see you cry. Well, I was trying to do that because I didn't want to cry in front of you anymore, and I was trying to hold it all in, and then I can't remember what was said, but some other things were said, and I was just like, boom, and I was just like, wah, 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 wah. Only it didn't quite go like that. It was the hysterical cry that he got when I came back from my dad's. The one where I was just like crying so hard that I couldn't see straight, and my eyes were like about that itty bitty. You know how you get when you can barely see, and how some people get when they're stoned and shit? Well, my eyes were about that little bitty. And I was crying so hard that I was uncontrollable. And he's like, well, let me go in and get you some Kleenexes. So he ran in and got me some Kleenexes. And I was like, I've got to go. You know, I've really got to go. And he's like, you're like really crying hard, and you're like hysterical. I don't want you to leave like this, you know. And I want you to stay. And I'm like, no. I said, you're not wanting me to stay. I said, you just want me to stay because I'm hysterical. And that's not a good reason for me to stay. That is not a good reason for me to stay at all, because you need to figure this out. You said you needed 2 days. If I stay, it's not going to make you feel any different. I said, because in the morning when you get up, you're going to still want those 2 days to yourself to figure out what you want to do with me. I said, I'm not going to sit here and stay tonight, and you still have that on your mind. I'm not going to do it. So I will go home. My hair's all fucked up. I said, I'm going to go. You know, I'm going to go so you can have time to think. He goes, well, don't you think it'd be good for us to have time to think? And I'm like, you know, I don't have to think. You know, I know I love you, and that's all I know is, you know, I don't have to have time to think. I know I love you, and that's all I know. I said, I know I've had a really hard day today, and it's been shitty. And to top it all off, I don't know if anybody out there is superstitious or not, but I am. I have a little things that I'm superstitious about. And before I got to his house, like right before I pulled in his drive, a stupid fucking black cat crossed my path. Well, I'm superstitious, and it's always screwed with my head. Well, it fucked me up. So I was like, I knew I was doomed. So anyway, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning now, and my nose is all running and snotty, and my eyes are like 2 inches ittle bitty tall, like where you can barely see. And I said, you know, I'm going to give you your time, and I'm going to go home. Then he's like, no, I want you to stay. I've already made up my mind. I want you to stay. I'm like, oh, fuck! But yet, on the inside, I'm like really, really happy. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm happy, but I'm like thinking, I don't want him to make this decision and then regret it. You know, I don't, you know, and I said, you know, I'll promise to you that I won't hurt myself, and I won't kill myself or anything like that. You know, I won't overdose or anything like that. Next time I feel really, really bad, if I ever get to the point I feel really, really bad and I think I'm going to take a bunch of pills or something like that, I will just go to the emergency room and tell them how I feel, that I feel really, really bad and I might hurt myself, and I'll just get admitted. I'll just get admitted and deal with it that way. I can't stop talking tonight. I'm so sorry. I know nobody's gonna watch this shit, but anyway, it's my shit, so who gives a fuck, right? I mean, who really gives a lousy fuck? It's fixing to be 10 minutes again. I've been talking for, what, a fucking hour, it seems like. I don't know. I mean, so I decided that.